Hey everyone, how are you? I want to share something that I've been working with my patients. I think it's going to be really helpful for really any runner. My name's Steve Gonzo, physical therapist with Run Smart Online. So I treat patients all the time, obviously, as a physical therapist, and mostly runners. And I want to go through this concept that I've been working with because a lot of people are still dealing with injuries, but in the mindset of a runner, this all makes a difference. And I want you to, the theme of this is embracing the plateau. Because whether you're looking to run faster or get over injury, like you need to have built-in plateaus in your training that allow your body to catch up. This gets more important if you're a runner who is getting older, which we all are, but most of the runners I see are over the age of 50 and they struggle with injuries, and you're trying to balance work and life and running and training and stay healthy all while we got pandemic going on. So I want to share with you what I was talking about. I talked about this with two patients this morning, embracing the plateau. Because as a runner, right, so we always like to see this, and especially if you've been injured for a while, you want to see like, okay, I can start running again, just give me more. Or with mileage, like, okay, I started training, so more. Runners have a lot of times have this more mindset. And what the trouble is that, especially when you're coming back from injury, you need to make sure. So for example, the runners this morning, so imagine you're dealing with an injury for like 6 months, like these two ladies were, and we finally get them back to running, and their injury themselves, one had knee pain, one had ankle and foot pain, we finally get them back to running, but the key thing to know is like, it's not just their ankle, the thing that they were seeing before that is the problem. Now, like their knees haven't been running, their other ankle or knee haven't been running, their back and their hips aren't used to running. So the whole body itself is starting to learn to run again, and we want to make sure there's nothing worse. I used to make a mistake many years ago when I started, is trying to get people back too quick, and they end up with a secondary injury because they had to rush back into it. So what we like to do is I'd like to build these plateaus into training, and the plateaus allow your body, and I say it bluntly or plainly, that allows your body to catch up. So when you're going out and you're training, you're doing things, you're going to start building your mileage, and I build these little plateaus in, and then bring everything back up, plateau it, and then keep going. With these plateaus, it takes a little bit longer to build your mileage, to get into longer runs. But during this period, here and here, and for running, it's usually about every 10 minutes. And that's what I did with these ladies today, is we get them up to 10 minutes of running, 10 to 20, really once you hit the 20-minute mark, I sustain the 20 minutes on and off, like 10 to 15 to 20 minute runs. And then we do that for about 7 to 10 days, 7 to 10. Then we start building up again, and at the next 10 minutes would be 30 minutes. They're hovering between 20 to 30 minute runs. They're not just going, okay, I did 10, I did 20, I did 30, I did 40, I did 50, and they keep building up. That's this mindset, like just give me more, keep giving me more, and it just always leads to failure. So these built-in plateaus are critical for anyone who's struggling with injury or struggling to get their mileage up. So we want to make sure that we're building these plateaus in every 10 minutes for 7 to 10 days. And if you do this, you can really kind of take your running and your training to the next level. This works for training plans as well. I like to use something that's a little bit different. So that's the plateau method. Again, if you want to learn more about this stuff, I have an injury management blueprint that you can find in the link above in this post somewhere. I actually think I put, here is the link very plainly. You can actually look at my injury management blueprint, which helps a lot with this. But from a training standpoint, obviously a lot of us aren't training right now unless you're trying to do some virtual things. But from a training standpoint, I always look at, so many people are doing their runs and they're building their mileage. Like they have the 10% rule in place, right? But it's always just like 10%. What I like to see in my runners is they start off any training plan at 60%. I don't even know if I'm still in the frame. Let me get this thing going on. So, yeah, so good. So 60% of their mileage you come into your training plan at, and then you start building, and this is what the build should look like. And you're always coming back down to that 60%. And this is the periodization that I find works really, really well with my runners who are either injury prone or over the age of 45, 40, 50 years old, is you build for 2 weeks, 1, 2, third week you drop down to 60%, 4, 5, drop back down, 7, 8, drop back down, 8 to 10, that's supposed to be a 9. So this is another way you look at the plateaus of building up. So many people are doing this thing, where the recovery weeks just get more and more mileage. Just drop that sucker back down to 60%. It's something we use in our training plans, which is actually included with the blueprint thing that you can go to the link in this post. And I always keep looking up, like it's up there. It's probably, I don't know where it is on the screen. So just know plateaus are a must. when you get and you're coming back from injury, you can't just go, okay, I did a mile, I did 2 miles, I did 3 miles. Go and get to a plateaued part and just repeat, repeat, repeat. It really drives that nail home to get over injuries, to help with your training. Makes a huge difference. And other than that, hope everyone has a great weekend and embrace your plateaus. All right, bye guys.